Black sheep. Black sheep are originally born into white flocks, but obviously the difference is the color of their wool. You see, because of a recessive gene that they have, it turns their wool black, and as a result, it doesn't make them favorable for being used for dyeing, because obviously it's kind of hard to dye something that's black, isn't it? But white sheep, sheep with white wool, they're easy to work with because you can dye the white wool any color. And so as a result of black sheep's wool, it makes them very undesired within the flock. And then we have this whole term that we use for those who may be in a group, but they are different from the group, they don't fit in. They're called the black sheep. In the family, you have somebody who maybe is not well behaved like the others, or is just very, very different in a questionable or maybe in a very undesirable way, and they're called the black sheep of the family. Maybe you might feel like you are the black sheep of the family, or maybe the black sheep within your workplace, or maybe the black sheep within your group in social gatherings. Black sheep. Did you know that God loves black sheep? In fact, when we look at Luke chapter 15, Jesus is speaking, and he's actually spoken before in chapter 14 about a great banquet, a great feast that takes place, and how this man who was making this banquet invites many guests, and the guests who were originally what you consider maybe like the white sheep, they make all excuses that they can't come because of this. One says, I've got married, I can't come. Another says that, I can't come, the reason being because I brought a field. And so that man says, you know what? I'm going to invite those who are not worthy in that sense. Those who are poor and those who are crippled and lamed and blind. Those who in that society were considered unworthy is the one whom that man says he's going to invite, and he invites them. He invites the black sheep. And Jesus speaks after this, and he talks about what it means to follow him and how a person has to leave everything to come to follow him. And in the midst of him speaking, there's people around, and the people who are there is a mixture of white wool sheep, if you want to use that term, and black wool sheep. The white wool sheep are the religious leaders, the people who are the elite. They are considered clean, righteous people, upright. There's nothing wrong with these people. And then you have as well those who are considered black sheep, the prostitutes, the tax collectors, sinners, people who go their own way and do their own things, and they hear Jesus and they just begin to gather and come closer to Jesus. And Luke records this. It says that now the tax collectors and sinners were all gathering around to hear him. The black sheep in that society decide that they must hear what this shepherd, this leader has to say. And so as you may be considered the black sheep, or you may be considered the white sheep, you may realize that you need this shepherd. See, Jesus is speaking. He wants you to hear. Come to him. It doesn't matter who you are, what you've done. It doesn't matter what you've done in life, because people that came to him were considered to be tax collectors and sinners, and they're considered people who you reject out of society. They came to listen to him gladly because they knew that he had something to say. Come to Jesus. He has words that you need to hear. God bless you. Have a wonderful week.